Hello everyone. So today's presentation is going to be on the rule of law in Pakistan, why it may be a nation's most powerful asset. So before we get into what is rule of law, kind of backtracking into the different types of law and the background of law. There are two different kinds of law. There is natural law and positivism law. Natural law falls into two categories, theological, which is more of a God or religion-based law, and then secular, which is more of an ethical or a humankind or good behavior kind of law. And then there's positivism, which is law that is passed by parliament. Pakistan's going to have more, if I understand correctly, is going to have more of a theological-based law that is also passed by Parliament. Now, what is rule of law? Thomas Hobbes, an English philosopher who is considered one of the founders of modern political philosophy, stated the rule of law deals with the surrendering of human rights to procure security. Now, Dickey's rule of law consists of three aspects or principles: no punishment without a breach in the law, all equality before the law, and rights best protected under the law. So rule of law is kind of the background or the why to creating laws. It's very much of a human rights category. Now, what does the rule of law do? It encompasses things like presumption of innocence, innocent until proven guilty, double jeopardy, cannot be tried twice for the same offense, legal equality, and a lot of other different categories and aspects of rule and law. But that is, for the most part, what it is proposed to, or what it is supposed to do for a country. Imran Khan, the current Prime Minister of Pakistan, stated, "Lack of rule of law is the main reason Pakistan could not join the ranks of progressive nations." So let's look at that on more of a broad category. This is the World Justice Project. It's a really wonderful website. I'm going to post the link of it afterwards. This is the different types of common law indexing around the world. The more closer to red the country is, the worse their rule of law is, or the worse their human rights and similar categories are. And the more closer to blue you are, the other way around. The more rights, the stronger the rule of law is in the country. So we'll look at a country that we're a little bit more familiar with, Canada. The closer the purple line is to the outside edge, the stronger the rule of law is in that country in those different aspects. You can see Canada is ranked number 9 out of 113 ranked countries around the world. They are 9th out of 35 in their income ranking, and they are 8 out of 24 in their regional rank. Their overall score is a 0.81. You can only get up to 1 or get down to 0. Now let's look at Pakistan's neighbors. We have Afghanistan. It is ranked 111 out of 113. Worst in the income rank and worst in the regional rank. We have learned a little bit about Afghanistan and somewhat understand why that might be. Now we have India. India is significantly better. It's around the midway point in the global, 62 out of 113. And then they're also middle in the region. And then we have Pakistan. So Pakistan is overall 105 out of 113 global ranking. And they are second to Afghanistan, second worst to Afghanistan in the region. But let's look at it in a little bit more detail. So on the right, the chart there, again, like I said, the farther you are from the center, the better you are, and the closer you are to center, the worse you are. Those are the different categories of the different aspects of rule of law and how they are judged. The gray line is how they were in 2016, and the purple line is 2017-2018 score. So these are all of the different categories or the different aspects of those categories. So, for example, We can see in order and security in the middle. 5.2, absence of civil conflict. We completely understand why that is there and why they are such a low rate ranking. And then you can also look at the little green line is the average of the economic class that they are in. And the orange line is the average of the regional class that they are in, South Asia. So they are obviously doing very, very poorly for both of those standards, but there are other aspects that they are doing significantly better than the average. For example, criminal justice, 8.6, no improper government influence. They're doing significantly better with that. Again, I would really highly recommend getting on the website and looking at all of these in detail. There's a lot of interesting aspects in Pakistan as well as our own countries. The US was quite interesting to see, as well as a lot of the Northern European countries. So, rule of law, why it may be a nation's most powerful asset. Rule of law is very, very important and very vital and could be very either helpful or harming to a country. Like the Prime Minister said, it is probably the reason why Pakistan is not included in the other ruling nations. If a country can't, for lack of a better term, hold it together and keep those human rights and keep the rule of law and the different aspects that come along with that, then other countries do not see them as qualified to do a lot of the same stuff. And in some aspects, they don't even seem qualified to rule their own country and to govern without outside influence and outside intervention at times. But Pakistan is also improving a lot. They have gone up in their rankings. They have been improving and working on it a lot in different aspects of it. So we will see where that goes. And this concludes my presentation. The first YouTube video will help understand what is rule of law a lot more. If you still have any questions or still are a little bit confused of what that means. And then the second website is the World Justice Project, which I went over earlier, the different aspects of rule of law and the country's ratings. All right, everyone have a great day.